and a friend are at a local protest with thousands of people there supporting a cause that you truly believe in, but the police shows up. Now, you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply practicing your First Amendment right to... I'm just going to start over. Imagine you and a friend are at a local protest supporting... Okay. Imagine you and a friend are at a local protest with thousands of people supporting a cause that you truly believe in, and the police shows up. Now, you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply practicing your First Amendment right to peacefully and civilly protest. However, suddenly the police tackles your friend and they take him off to jail. You go to the jail and you try to get your friend out, but then you realize that the bail is $10,000, and that's a price that you can't afford. That's a price that his family can't afford.
Do that over again.
Okay.
Do that over again.
Why?
Do that over again.
Why?
You don't want to do it.
I don't want to do it.
You got this. You're doing so good.
Imagine you and a friend are at a local protest with thousands of people supporting a cause that you truly believe in, and the police shows up. Now, you're not doing anything wrong. You're simply practicing your First Amendment right to peacefully and civilly protest when suddenly the police tackles your friend and places them under arrest. Now, you try to go get your friend out of jail, and you realize that the bail bond was set at $10,000. That's a price that you can't afford. That's a price that your friend's family can't afford, and now your friend is stuck in jail, and you don't know what to do. In a country that profits off of the money that they gain from wrongful imprisonment of minorities, something needed to change. The Bail Project was started in 2007 as an organization to provide free bail assistance to those who had not been convicted of their accused crimes. The organization started in the Bronx and now has spread to various major cities and continues to provide free bail assistance for lower income families. Now more than ever, we live in a generation where the voice of the youth matters, and we have lived through a year of protests where people have ended up hurt and people have ended up imprisoned for peacefully protesting. We, as the future of this country, have the opportunity to bring justice to those wrongfully convicted, and this is the first step. The jail system in the United States is a dangerous and mentally deteriorating environment that even those who have not been convicted of their crimes have to endure. Poverty is not a reason to be incarcerated, and supporting organizations such as the Bail Project help push towards the goal of dismembering the ridiculously expensive bail prices that some families can't afford. Today, I will be talking about the ridiculously unjust prices that bail reaches for some people in pretrial incarceration and how it affects minority populations. The Bail Project is a great organization that is trying to change various problems that the jail system has caused in minority neighborhoods and their lives. But now, let's get into specifics. Bail prices are often extremely high for charges that are not as harmful as others. For example, a drug charge for possession of marijuana usually ranges from $20,000 up to about 6 figures, while assault charges, they stay in about the $25,000 range, even though marijuana is legal in California. Paying these bail prices is an extremely punishing task for some of lower and even middle income class citizens, and is a big sacrifice to their lives. The second problem is that minority populations are being affected heavily by these bail prices because they are of lower income and have to experience the harsh effects of prison because they don't have the funds to be bailed out. Over 56% of African Americans and Hispanics are incarcerated because they're often come from lower income backgrounds and can't afford bail. But studies show that 90% of people who receive free bail bond assistance aren't even convicted of the crimes that they were accused of. So this is what's causing this increase in prison population. The problems that the Bail Project deal with are certainly a big threat for people of color across the country. But these problems are caused by the government themselves in order for their own benefit. One thing that makes bail so high is that the prison is a $14 billion industry that receives more in taxes if the amount of people in prison increases. The more people that the jails hold, the more funding is taken for the prisons from our taxes. So setting a bail price as high ensures that people will stay in there for longer and they receive more taxes. Another reason that bail price is so high is because of the government's push for gentrification in neighborhoods that harbor people of color. If minorities are in prison, governments can seize certain properties and sell them for a profit as long as they do some remodeling work. And as well as properties, government can buy out certain businesses that while people are in prison. And this pushes for larger corporations that make more tax revenue for the government. Now that we've talked about problems, we can move on to talking about what we can do to make a change. The first thing we can do to begin to solve the problem of high bond prices is donating to organizations such as the Bail Project Fund and the Community Bail Fund in order to provide free bail assistance to those in pre-trial incarceration. These organizations are nonprofit and reuse the same funds to free people who are awaiting their trial. The bigger the budget that these companies have, the more people will be able to walk freely and safely from the effects of these harsh prisons. Another way that we can solve this problem is by voting in our local elections to decriminalize drug charges. Repeating drug offenders often come in and out of jail and keep paying these bond prices, but by decriminalizing drug charges, people that are suffering from drug addiction can get into rehabilitation programs, which is a great help for our country. Poverty, again, is not a reason to be incarcerated, and the things that people in pretrial imprisonment experience are way beyond what any human should experience if our country truly believes in being innocent until proven guilty. And this problem can start being solved by us. Even though the prices of bail are extremely high and are hurting our minorities at the hands of a government that profits off of their prisoners and is attempting to gentrify people of color's neighborhoods, we can do something to make a change. By either donating to a cause or remembering to participate in our local elections, we can make a change. Wrongful imprisonment, again, is something that can happen to anyone of any demographic, but it's the job of those most affected to fight for a change. I challenge everyone who watches this video to remember that it can happen to any single one of you. And the next time someone talks about an issue like this, you remember that you are the youth of America and that you can make a change because it starts with us.